Do you remember being a little kid and having books read to you? Do you remember not listening to what was being said? But as soon as you saw the pictures, everything made sense. Yeah, me too. An illustrator that told stories through illustration is Quentin Blake. He is responsible for illustrating the books by Roald Dahl. These illustrations aided in the progression of these books. He is responsible for The BFG, Matilda, The Witches, and Fantastic Mr. Fox. His art style is more simplistic in comparison to Eric Carle. Eric Carle is responsible for the Very Hungry Caterpillar illustrations. This style is more angular and more focused on color value. An illustrator that focused more on the conceptual design was Maurice Sendak. His most popular short story is Where the Wild Things Are. These illustrations are more focused in the detail of overall appeal. Each monster was made different for relatability to the individuals. Someone who was truly impacted by the power of both illustration and story is Dr. Ashley Lawson, a professor of the English department.
I like that I get to live other lives, I get to have other experiences without ever having to go anywhere. I like to learn new things, and I think learning new things through stories sometimes is the most efficient and interesting way to do that. I tend to skew towards minimalism as opposed to the sort of photorealistic style. I think that there's more room for artist interpretation in minimalism because of their choice about what to include, what not to include. But just like prose style, I think images have a certain style to them that's important to identifying an author's personality. My favorite books that includes images and words is Alison Bechdel's Fun Home. It's a coming-of-age story of a young woman dealing with her dad's experience as a closeted gay man, and her experience coming out, and I just think she tells it in a way that's very literary but also very accessible and very identifiable, even if you haven't had those same experiences.
Carol Bowman, the librarian here at Wesleyan, was also fond of the illustrative qualities within books.
I think maybe I like colored illustrations just because it makes them more three-dimensional to me. If they're just black and white, they're just I like Where the Wild Things Are just because the monster on the front's got big teeth. But if you read that book to kids, they love it. It doesn't scare them. If the illustrations are really good, they can spark imagination in children and in adults.
When it comes to an illustration, so much thought and care is put into it. Children and adults both identify with what these characters go through in their stories. But in their stories is what is exemplified, and lessons are learned. The illustrations tell their own story.